Hey, what's up? So, it's been a while since I decided to talk to you guys on video, and for you guys listening on the podcast, it's been a while too. So, if you're wondering why these colors are changing the way they are, I got this thing. I had it a while ago. Never set it up until now, or a few days ago. I actually like it, so gonna keep it. But far as update, I am in the 50 percentile of mixtape readiness being done. Uh, I'm looking forward to announcing the date it will be released. I'm looking forward to seeing the reviews I get. I'm actually nervous because I feel like I gotta go back and do some work, and it's gonna be a lot of work. Or the song might be scrapped entirely because the way the flow is. I don't know. I'm going in nervous as how I don't like this feeling, but it is what it is. Like I'm not like in order for it to sound nice and sound good, it has to go through. Uh, if it's not going to make it, it doesn't make it. If I feel like out of all the songs that's been recorded, I feel like three to possibly four might actually make it. I'm fine with that. It's just maybe because I'm rushing the song. It's not like I'm rushing on purpose. It's just kind of bored. So I'm like, well, if I feel like I got it right, lay it down. And then when I lay it down, it doesn't sound ish right. Then I kind of find like ways ish around it, or maybe I'm just getting tired of my own sound. I don't know what it is yet. Like I feel like it could be better, and I just don't know what's gonna make it better. Sorry, yawning, but the thing I want to get with you guys, other than the update, was the Teddy Riley versus um, Babyface. I want to say, make sure your name's right. So I left the chat around round 9, end of round 9, round 10, going up and round 10. Reason so is because Instagram kicked them out for having an IG live longer than an hour, and we had to go on live, uh, which that wasn't the problem. I was just tired and I wanted to finish up what I was doing before I actually hopped on to see that live. Two things I will state is I don't know anything about Teddy Riley or Babyface, but listening to the 9 rounds I was going back and forth, I know more than I'm not gonna say more than I know about half of the catalog that was being played, or at least aware of from my parents' generation. And the thing I could take away from it is that, well, before I say that, they are both very talented people. Um, whether whatever type of input they did to that song or songwriting, whatever, they are very talented people. Tony Braxton, MJ, I'll make sure I said that Tony Braxton part right. I feel like I said it wrong. Um, Michael Jackson. I'm trying to remember every other song that I've heard so far. SWV was one. Um, Nonetheless, I like. Even if I didn't like it to the extent of like me wanting to like put it on my playlist, I liked it because every single one of those tracks had a feeling. Like they had a feeling. Like it's not a feeling that you can deny. When being 26, that feeling, that era is a matter of fact. Before I get to that, the chat was very was a lot more of like I would say my favorite artists people. Like I didn't grow up when that was playing outside. I was still inside listening to a whole different other vibe. Or my parents would be playing it from time to time, and even then, my mom doesn't really listen to much music around me unless it's in the car. And my stepdad plays very frequently, but then again, it's like up and down in the air when he actually plays it. So I wasn't around music heavy growing up. I had to find my own music, and when I found my own music, it was music currently coming out, not anything past 1990, yeah, past 1995. I want to say I did listen to a few tracks in the late 90s, but even then it was kind of gray. And because I didn't have the same feelings that those tracks resonated for the people. Like it's a difference. Like now I can feel it because it's a whole different bag, and I understand the emotion now. And it's a whole different leap. All right, and listening now, it's like, all right, that's a whole different bag, it's a whole different vibe. I actually do kind of want to put on my playlist and let it rock out if I'm just chilling and cleaning, whatever. But as a kid, you don't have those feelings, you don't have those problems, you don't have that relation. So the only relation you get, and I'm not trying to go back to what everybody says about hip hop is all just gangster. Da, da, da. Well, honestly, it's just hip hop is popular, and that's what I'm not gonna say drove me to that area, of course, but like I do still listen to R&B music, even early 2000 R&B music. I know there's some tracks I haven't discovered, tracks I have discovered. I sit here and go, like it's still that era of R&B versus my era of R&B versus today's era of R&B is all three different R&Bs. Like it's very different. Which I'm not mad, or which I'm not trying to say like it's a bad thing either. It's I feel like something came on. Nope, that's it. Okay. So, like I was saying, yeah, it's not bad R&B. The only problem with this R&B, like my generation R&B was a fusion between this R&B, also mixed in with the prior R&B in 90s and 80s, etc. But this generation R&B has nothing compared to that generation R&B in the 90s and 80s, etc. And I'm not saying that like, oh, this era is better or anything of that sort. It's a lot more. Well, how can I put it? It's there, but there's like it talks about a lot of main things. Like, for instance, when I wrote "Till the Season," I wanted to come from the perspective of like, what is it like to reconcile a breakup and knowing that you guys won't break up, which to me, excuse me, was a whole different bag on like how music in that type of mindset would have approached it. I feel like back then R&B is more so I'm trying to talk to the girl, and the entire song is just literally as if you were walking to that girl from point A to point B. Now, the point A to point B is so fast, you get point A to point B within 4 bars, and then somehow it leads into this year or months we've been together, or we've been through this and been through that. It's never like too concrete in the middle or in between. I don't know. It's very interesting. Like the old school lives more in the moment, in the feeling of that moment, versus currently now it's more about the time of the moment. Like the amount of time together in that moment, not necessarily the moment, like the feeling of that moment. It's like, all right, whatever we've been doing for the last 30 days is summed up to one song. Back then, what we did for the last 5 minutes was summed up to one song. And again, none of that is bad. None of that is the way, I enjoy Teddy Riley and Babyface verses. And yeah, if you're going to ask me who the winner was, based off around going up to before the beginning of round 10, kind of hard decision because Teddy Riley had a lot of funk music versus Babyface has a lot more R&B music. Not saying that they're not the like. So it got to a point, I think around like round 4 or 5 past that point, the sound was very similar back to back. Not saying it was the same, but around there it started getting back to back. The sound of R&B, so it was hard to choose between one and the other when they're both. Not saying they sound the same because it was still two different songs, and it had two different feelings, but the tonality of both the tracks were like kind of even. And to say which one was better than the other when they both sound like they could be number one candidates, like if you were to spin them as a DJ, nobody would notice you were transaction between the tracks. That's how it appeared in my head when I was listening to it. And I listened to it with my headphones on so I can get a bit more experience than just a cell phone. But I definitely enjoyed it. I want to say I gave it to Babyface. I feel like Babyface had a bit more punch in the R&B section. As much as I love the funk Teddy Riley was giving me, Babyface, something about just a smudge over with the R&B joints had me more. And it's weird because it's not like I knew much of the songs that Teddy Riley had or Babyface, but Babyface's music was just, it felt different. Like Teddy Riley had the same thing too, but then there was certain like one or two certain songs that kind of pushed me a little bit more towards Babyface. So I would say Babyface got that based off of up to round 10 without actually having to hear round 10. I'm actually probably going to go back and listen to the rest of it. It's probably 10 more rounds. Oh man, yawning. Oh my god. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I'm doing this because after I talk to you guys, I'm gonna do some research on both Teddy Riley and Babyface, just a bit, not a lot. I realize that I'm gonna start engaging more with these IG live battles, educational reasons and also content reasons, to talk to you guys about what's my thoughts and what I believe, this or that, and how do I feel about this or that. What I do want to say is I would definitely like to, if they are, unless they're retired, I don't know what the situation is, but I would like for them to do some collaborations with some current R&B, like, not currently, people around my age that's doing R&B, like Tinashe, Ella May, excuse me, Kalani, Division. I gotta listen to the Division album, matter of fact. Trying to think of anybody else, R&B section. I like to hear Chris Brown's joint, Trey Songz joint. I like to hear, like, with them. I don't know who else I can think of right now. Summer Walker too. I don't want to just think of all the girls though. Like I want to throw in some guys. I just can't think of any guys like that right now. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Quarantine wise, been stuck in this house. I think I realized that my housemate daughter probably should start leaving the house just for a tad bit because she has been in this house for days and she started showing like bumps on her arm, and I don't know if it's because she's breaking out from staying inside and whatnot and cooped up, or it's probably because she just don't take a shower like she's supposed to. Like I keep telling her, take a shower. Yeah, I ain't take a shower for a whole week, and like, oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping I guess I could say this. If I were able to release all tracks that I've recorded whether it's for the mixtape or not, I would say it's where I leave off at. 6, 6 tracks. I was aiming for more, but um, I feel like I will add down the line. I feel like I have a good solid base right now. Yeah, I want the team to figure out which ones do we want to remove, which one, how do they want to arrange it? Do we want to add anything in between, anything? Um, I want to see their faces, understand like where and what areas need improvement, etc. I also did download this app on my MacBook, but the problem is I'm having problems logging into the account. But it allows me to like, it's like a AI mastering. I don't know how to necessarily put it. And there is another place I can do mixing and mastering for a couple dollars. It's not that much. It's just I don't know. Like something about I don't know. I don't know. I think it's more the flaw. I feel like it's me not fully feeling that out confident in certain lines. I feel like some lines I feel confident in, but then it gets too low to certain parts, and it's just a whole lot of back and forth hassle that I'm just like, and I always feel better when I have the music blasting in my ears and I'm recording, but I can't do that because then the music would end up bleeding into the microphone, and then it will be able to pick up in the microphone, so it'd be harder for me to properly edit if that does happen. So difficulties, but I enjoy this talk. 2 second talk, well, not really 2 seconds, but 16. I'll see you guys another day, another time. I will definitely be a lot more active as soon as this, after tomorrow. If they say everything, I doubt it, but if they say everything's like good to go for the mixtape, but at this point, I kind of feel like calling it EP, but either or. If they say that, and all I gotta do is a photo shoot, best believe I will be on a lot more. Like I will be on every single day. I will record a lot more. I just haven't because I've been diving into the tracks, working on beats, writing songs with meaning, and I've been like, all right, practice this, practice that, and then lay it out. However it came out, how it came out. I actually kind of felt listening to some of it right now, but I actually got to edit 3. Yeah, I got 6 because I finished 3. Like I finished writing 3. They're fully recorded, they're fully edited and everything. I have 3 others. 2 I literally made this last 2 days. And 1 I finished like okay, let me rephrase that. 1 I finished yesterday. Recording wise, I just gotta mix it down. And the other 2, I made the beat, recorded my verses the same day I made the beat, and they gotta be mixed down and whatnot. Now the track I just worked on today, it's a very not short, but I made it short because I don't feel like I'm starting to look at certain tracks to go, do I feel like this deserves 2 verses, 3 verses, 1 verses, a bridge, etc. If I don't feel that, then I'm gonna leave it more chalked up to everyone else. If I get enough people saying that they want to hear more, I'm going to explain. Maybe it's better for this track to be 1 because you want more, and I could just go replay the song. Because if I feel like I add more, then I have less people replaying and listening, etc. I feel like that 1 verse track has a tone on its own. There's only 1 track I have that's 1 verse. Every other track is 2 verse, most likely probably with a bridge or the 3 verses. You got to wait and see on that. But this is the only one track that has legit 1 verse on it. And I like it. In my opinion, I like it. I just don't 100%. I'm gonna go back and listen to it tomorrow. I don't want to wear myself out in my ears with this whole thing. So, like I said, peace out, y'all. Hopefully, you guys are having a good quarantine.